What is up? What is up? What is up? Happy Friday. It's the Nerd Dad. What's up, everybody?
Yo.
I feel like we need to do the Hulk Hogan, the ear thing. Huh? Huh? All right, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Engagement. That's what I like.
Yeah, gay.
Engagement.
Hey.
What's up, MK? How are you? We are sans Dusty and sans Andrew tonight, I think.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know. We got
Not Dusty. Dusty's a delight.
What about Doc?
You know, we will have Doc. Well, we might not have Doc because I think he's I think he's at a convention thing. I don't know. I don't know if he's at Consensus. Let me ping him right now.
Or he just smartened up and realized he's got better shit to do.
Well, if he's hopefully he's not sober. He's at Consensus. He's not sober, and he'll join us. Let's see. Will be fun. What's up? What's up, nerds? How's everybody's week? Everyone doing good?
Yeah.
Thank God it's over. That's all I can say.
Thank God everything is over. It's Friday.
Thank God it's World War III and it's all over.
I like how in the green room, Zach is the one to say no politics, and he just starts going into shit. Let me put it like this. I'll put it like this. I will take the control of this thing. I'll give you an update on some of the stuff we're working on. So we are, as you guys know, we're working on the WAGMI partnership. The pages are done. Avery just finished inking the primary cover. We're going to be doing a variant cover. Avery's going to be doing that, which is badass. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool. The colors for the book are going to be done Monday evening at the latest. So maybe we get them this weekend, but probably Monday, which is totally fine. And what else? The lettering for the comic begins right after that. So we have a really talented letterer ready to go, and it's really cool that he's willing to help us out with this. And his only request, of course, is that all the pages be colored first, so that he can go ahead and just jump in and do it in like one fell swoop, right? Like just kind of get the whole thing done. So he'll probably be doing that through next week. It's exciting, man. I'm so ready to see this whole book complete. I genuinely think it's a pretty good book, and between us, most importantly, I feel like the old drawing hand is warmed up for some adult fantasy stuff. I've been super busy with Web3 Comic-Con, and we can talk about that for a minute, and some other things. But I will say that I just printed out this right here. So what this is, I'm gonna mute you guys for just a second because there's a fan in the background there. I think that's Avery. But if you check this out, so what this is so this right here is a sort of like a thumbnail sheet, and I can do an entire comic thumbnails. Right, there we go. I can do an entire comic of thumbnails right here. So every single page, I can do them really small. This is actually from Ed Piskor. So my templates I'm weirdly like shamanistic with my templates, and like I kind of feel like there's like energy in there. So Ed Piskor made these, and I found it, and I got a copy of them. And so he's obviously, Ed Piskor is no longer with us, but so I do the really tiny little thumbnails right here, and then what we do is I'll then take those and kind of blow them up in the computer really quick, or I might not even use a computer because those thumbnails are super tiny. Once I kind of know what's on each page, then I'll go and I will sketch them on this. right here. And what this is, MK says to accompany the AF book. Yeah. So when we know kind of like what the book is going to be, and I kind of have a good idea now. I will draw the pages rough right here really quick, sort of as a really, super rough, super small stick figures, just to kind of get it out of my head and kind of have it to a place where I can kind of remember it and work on it. And of course, the other good thing about having it this size is that you're allowing yourself to screw up. Because if something doesn't work on this, you just erase and go to the next one, or just scratch it out and go to the next little panel. Like, you're not really wasting a lot of paper. You're not really wasting a lot of space. It's just a way to brainstorm your shots. And then once that's done, you take it one step further. And this is all comic book layout size. This is all the same dimensions. And what I can do is I can go in here and I can draw out like page, this would be page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, like that. And you just go through this whole thing, and I will start to sketch this out. Now, this is enough right here. If I don't throw anything away and I just use these pages, this right here is enough for 80 pages. So this is 40 pages printed with 2 pages on each. So this is a 80-page book or 4 issues. So that will be sort of the next step, right? So we have the plot. We'll kind of figure that out from Lore Games, and then from Lore Games, I go to this, and then from this, I can go to this. And at each stage, it's a complete object. So this one page is a comic. So just 4 pages right here is like, an 80-page book or 4 issues. So I can have this. I can go ahead and do one full comic's worth of work, and then I can go hit these, and then it's out of my head, right? Like, then it's because it's out of my head, I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like, okay, it's on paper. I've got the shots, and then I can make a decision. Am I going to just do one issue at a time, or am I going to actually write the whole book and then come back to page 1 and refine it and start just working on it sequentially once I know exactly how the book works? I kind of like that idea better. Sorry, I used the wrong button. Dusty, where are you? I kind of like that idea better of sketching out the whole book and then coming back and just doing page 1, page 2, page 3, just because I think it allows more time to I rugged. Yeah, I know. I rugged. It allows me a little more time to gestate on the shots and what I want to have happen. And if something needs to change, I can change it without it affecting all this stuff. Much more visual writing than script writing, because that's just my background. And then, we're working on Web3 Comic-Con. It's coming along really well. We have 15 interviews already in the can. I'm going to put it out there right now. I don't know, and this is just for you guys, and I usually don't talk about it publicly because, if I don't get the person, it's kind of sad, but I am going to try my best to get Todd McFarlane this year. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to reach out and see if I can find a mutual contact and see if I can get Todd McFarlane on, because I see him doing interviews recently to small. He's open to like small YouTube channels, so maybe he's open to a Web3 conference. I think McFarlane would be. If I could get McFarlane, that would be a personal achievement of mine. Because outside of Stan Lee, that dude, like Avery knows, I've been cribbing that dude since I was 12. I've been ripping that dude off forever, man. I love his stuff. So,
Oh yeah,
that.
Yeah,
like
big McFarlane fans.
Totally, man. I mean, and he's one of the good ones. He's legitimate.
Yeah.
So that's going strong. We are also planning an ordinal, a launch of our first ordinals, an ordinal collection towards the end of June, early July. So it's going to be small. We're not going to be doing. We're certainly going to tell adult fantasy, we'll tell AF, and obviously but we're not going to make a big public push out of it. Dusty and I especially have been working our asses off behind the scenes and making enough connections with enough people inside of the Ordinals community that I think we'll be able to get a good show up rate with just those people, like those people and who they invite, right? So launching is always terrifying, and it's even scarier that it's on a new chain that I've never launched on. It's on Bitcoin. But it's going to be small. It's going to be 200 pieces. And I will talk about that more in the coming weeks. But that's pretty much us through July. And I will say, I think we are now thinking of having Web3 Comic-Con launch in August. So originally we were going to do July. It was June. It was June 10th through 12th. And I think we're moving that to August 10th through 12th. And the reason being is that just the way the year works, all these things kind of stack up. We were supposed to have a launch in February with a partner in San Francisco. That didn't work out for an ordinal drop. We flew out there. We were there. It just didn't happen. It's not just one of those things. It's not a negative. It just kind of is a thing. So we had to postpone that launch because that didn't happen. And then we did the WAGMI thing, and the WAGMI thing took a little longer than I expected because it's been, I don't know, 20 years since I've done a comic. And like outside of Sonic X, I don't think I've really worked on a comic book for another person, for like a client. So my timing was a little off. So that extended by like a month or two. And then that kind of trips into the second ordinal launch that we were going to do, which is now the first ordinal launch, which trips into the actual show. It's like dominoes. So we have to shift the calendar a little bit. But we're excited, man. I mean, I think I'm in the mode, and I don't know, maybe MK can relate to this. Like I'm in the mode now where I'm already kind of not looking at Twitter/X because the bull is kind of coming and things are kind of starting to pop, and I don't feel like I'm ready, and I want to be a part of it, of course, and I want, everything to go well for everybody, but I'm just kind of like, oh my God, I can't look at that right now. I just have to kind of focus because I desperately do not want to get caught up in the stuff, in the hype of these kind of the bull cycles. So just kind of stick to the plan and kind of keep going with it. So that's what we got going on, man. It's a lot, but yeah, man, we're moving forward and we're doing some good things. And I got a lot of good stuff to share with you guys tonight. What about you guys? Anything up? Avery, how are you doing? So Avery was telling me in the green room, MK says no mo FOMO. 100%, dude. Yeah, I'm a little like I FOMO hard with a lot of the stuff, and I miss, it's like anything, you miss everything. I missed this one or missed that one, or I sold this too early, or I should have kept this or whatever. So I'm just kind of sticking to the plan and trying my best to ignore the stuff. That's right. Focus on the brand, here for the long slog. That's it, man. That's exactly right. And it's funny, man. Like we were talking, Dustin and I were talking, and last year, so we had discussions 2023 about what we were going to do for 2024 and 2025. And we talked about our conversations initially were, we got to do something big. We got to do something huge. It's got to be like this massive launch, these big things. What can we do that's just gigantic and going to knock people's socks off? And after talking about it for off and on for a few weeks, I came to the realization and the conclusion that we should not do any of that. And I think that long-term mindset dictates that you kind of ignore that, and instead, to MK's point, focus on the brand, where you just like Whether the market's up or down, you just focus on the thing that you're going to be focusing on. Certainly, if market conditions are coming in your favor or you think they're in your favor, if you're picking between one or two things, it should inform your decision, but you shouldn't feed the beast. Like don't say, oh my God, we got to do something big because there's going to be a massive launch. We think the peak of the market's going to be in June, so we got to launch in June. Like, I'm not doing that shit. Like, we have so many cool things coming. We've got partnerships coming. We've got WAGMI partnerships. We've got other partnerships that I can't talk about right now that people are working on stuff with the Adult Fantasy brand that I'm super excited about. We've got, we still got stuff with lore games and books and tabletop games. We've got so many good things. And we're going to be working on this most likely. I say most likely, I'm still giving myself an out, but we are definitely going to be launching some kind of YouTube channel, most likely an animated show, as a discovery mechanism for an audience. And all that stuff is in the mix. And so it's just kind of like, stay the course, stay strong. Don't ape into like every shit coin that comes our way, and try not to, like I'm reading white papers about hybrid DeFi, and now they're adding tokens to coins, basically NFTs to tokens. The shit is amazing. In fact, I could share that if you guys are interested in that. But it's not a distraction, but it's a distraction. You know what I mean? It's like, I just got to focus on it. Like, everything is cool all the time. Just don't fuck it up. Just keep working. Just keep grinding. Anyway, enough about that. I've got some good stuff to show. Avery, Zach, do you guys want to start, or should I start? How are you guys feeling?
What were you saying about? I was saying you said something about Avery, and then we
were saying in the green room. Shit, I don't even remember. What were we saying in the green room? It was well, we were talking about comics, and we are talking about your cover. What else were we talking about in the green room? My mind, I don't know.
Foil covers.
Foil covers. So that's something. I don't know. I don't have them in my my computer's not tied up to my messaging service, but those foil covers are cool. Let me
yeah, Google them.
Yeah,
I've been buying them. It's the only thing from the mainstream comic industry I've been buying are these facsimile editions of classic issues with all the original ads and everything, but with brand new shiny foil covers, and they look amazing.
In fact, the only thing I don't like about the facsimile editions is the name facsimile.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you call here? Let me share this. Why wouldn't you call this third printing, or
I don't know.
Like any fifth printing, any kind of anything. Facsimile makes it sound like a photocopy, right? But look how great these look.
Yeah. That's one of the ones I just got in. I've got the first appearance of Wolverine, that Hulk. I just ordered today the Uncanny X-Men with Captain America, and I want to get all the Secret Wars because they've done Secret Wars too. Like, I think all of them.
Well, dude, I was actually going to talk about Secret Wars tonight, but they can't have. See, it's 1 in a 12-issue miniseries. We gotta talk about that because
they've done. I think they've done all of Secret Wars. It's just you, and I just got that Spider-Man and the Death of Gwen Stacy.
Oh, this one.
Yep.
How are the books nice?
They're nice.
How are they printed on the inside?
New printing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have that Wolverine #1, but I've got the #1 to the regular series, and I got the special edition and I got the foil edition for the Days of Future Past Uncanny X-Men, and a Spider-Man 300.
Ain't it funny that Marvel is selling out of facsimile books?
Mm-hmm. And I got the New Mutants 98.
How are these? Are they worth anything? Are they worth money yet?
I don't think they're worth much, but they sell anywhere from $6 to $20.
Oh wow!
Some of them sell for a little more than that.
Yeah, because here's like Here's a facsimile edition, 9.8 Hulk 181.
Yeah, dude, that one looks great, and that's one of my favorite images.
Yeah.
It's in my studio on the wall, like those poster things that are like printed on wood.
Oh
like
yeah.
a frame. Yeah. I have like a 20 by 30 of that in my studio, and I have like an 11 by 17 of the Uncanny X-Men Phoenix issue.
Wow. I wonder how much. Just out of curiosity. Let's see. I wonder how much. Let's see what this is. I wonder how much it goes for. $80, $75 if you
Slab it.
slab it.
I got it to enjoy.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't slab it. You would. Oh, yeah. Here's
No.
Secret Wars #2. Wow.
Yeah, dude, dude, Mike Zeck's artwork printed that way looks so good.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
I would buy the whole. I would pay. You know what? I would pay $50 if they did the entire comic printed on that shit.
So good.
Yeah, I have the New Mutants '98. I picked up that. These look fantastic. I love them. I've been buying them on eBay because I don't want to go to the comic shop and start a pull. So I just buy them on eBay.
I have been. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, dude.
That just glows, man.
Yeah. Dude, those old school bright colors on that foil.
You can't beat those old school colors, dude. You just can't.
Especially on that type of like that foil metallic printing.
It just shows you how good they were. Like they didn't have any kind of foil covers back then.
Nope.
So good, man. I
got Spider-Man 300. I got that one. I ordered that one.
Nice.
Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Wow.
There's more I want. Like I've seen ROM. DC has some too.
I wonder how these are selling. I wonder what the numbers are like on these.
I think they're selling well.
They must be selling well because they're doing a ton of them.
Exactly.
They're just reprinting all their old stuff, and it makes sense. Like,
and some are con exclusives.
Well, even with music, like vinyl records, they always do re-releases. Like that's the only problem I have is you shouldn't call it facsimile. Like, why can't you call it a re-release?
Oh yeah.
Or new edition, modern edition, or just foil edition. You know how many of these had foil editions? 0.
Yeah.
So just call it foil cover or foils.
Yeah.
You know,
like the New Mutants '98. I bought the pair where it was the foil and the regular facsimile edition.
Yeah. Yeah. This is awesome, man. Yeah, I may
love them.
In. I may end up jumping.
I don't care if they're never worth anything. I just think they look cool as shit.
They look cool. Yeah.
Look how good that looks.
Yeah, dude,
on foil.
That's
like find a better photo. That looks amazing.
Everyone's like, look how good it looks. It's so cool, man. Oh, so cool. Yeah. I may have to pick these up. And I'll show you some stuff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at some artist editions, man. I'm getting stuck in this artist edition universes. Like,
I'm probably going to get the David Mazzucchelli, and I ordered the Dark Knight Returns.
You did?
I've been looking at it on eBay, and then all of a sudden I got an offer, another $20 off. So I said, well, that makes it cheaper than buying it anyplace else.
I have that book, right?
Yes.
It is so effing good. It is worth every penny. It is not small. It is a
dude. I got it for $120 plus shipping altogether.
So that's you got it for a steal. It's worth.
Yeah,
it's worth
with shipping, it was still under $150. That's way cheaper than everybody else.
I'll show you a couple things. Let's see. In fact, I wasn't even going to show this tonight, but I'll show you some of the things I'm looking at. Let's see. Stop screen. So some of the stuff that I'm looking at. All right. So we've got. So I screwed up early on, and my local comic shop, my LCS, had like tons of these. The Hellboy Artist Edition.
I tell you, I saw that when it came out, and I looked at it. I didn't buy it.
Yep.
You know why?
Why?
The paper's very thin.
Is it really?
I thought so. I thought the paper was really thin. That was the first one they did, isn't it? That's the
No,
first one that it's one of the
No.
early ones.
It's early, but it's not that early. I don't think it's that early.
It was one of it was one of the early artist editions. Artist editions were a new thing when that came out.
Mm.
Wait, which
you're
one?
probably,
No,
you're
Hellboy.
probably
No,
right.
Hellboy in Hell. It's not. Okay, never mind. It was a different Hellboy. Never mind.
The other one, yeah, the
The
other
other
one.
one. Okay,
So
never
I'll show
mind.
you that too because I have that in here as well. But the Hellboy in Hell one, um, I probably should have picked up, and I was like, nah, I don't know. And now it's like,
Yeah.
like you can't. These are very hard to find. But what I'm learning, what I learned on working on the WAGMI book, is I kind of want to bring some more of this into my style. You know, like not Magnolia, not necessarily the the style, I guess, but the simplified composition, the more black to white composition, a little more balanced. You know what I mean?
That's what I tried to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in Magnolia, like that panel right there with the coins. Like that's a perfect. He's not making panels; he's making paintings. Once you learn to look at every single panel that Mike Mignola does as a painting, all of a sudden everything makes sense.
There you go.
And
You know
they're
what I
just
mean?
they're simple graphic representations.
Oh, 100%. He's a grand master. He's a wizard. Like he's super good. But yeah, like this kind of stuff, and then his early stuff. I mean, like this stuff drives me nuts. It's so good, right? Like, so I'm trying to bring in a little more of the black to white composition. It's one of my favorite illustrations ever, right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to bring a little bit more of the black and white composition in. Maybe a little more graphic. I don't really know. I don't really necessarily think I need to be more graphic necessarily, but it's going to save me a lot of time, and I think it looks better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried to draw everything with the WAGMI book, and it was a lot. Right? Like that's just beautiful. Right? So that's the first thing I'm looking at, and then I think you're thinking about this one, the Amazing Screw-On Head.
No, it was the first Hellboy.
I don't think he's only got two, Hellboy in Hell and Screw-On Head. I think those are the only two.
No, I think they did the first Hellboy series as this
As
was
an
a
artist
long.
edition?
It was one of the first ones. It was
Oh
one of
shit!
it
I've
was
never even seen that.
just look up Hellboy Artist Edition and see how many pop up. Don't even look. I don't even know if you should look it on Amazon. I don't know if
on
Amazon
eBay?
was. Yeah, Amazon. I don't think what is what it is back when this came out. I could have swore that he's got more than one.
He's got two that I know of, but they're also impossible to find. Like that Screw-On Head, Amazing Screw-On Head, is like impossible to find. Yeah, I mean it's just going to be covers. I mean it's just a ton of shit. Yeah, so it's just the only thing they have right now is the Hellboy in Hell. But yeah, I've been looking at that. I've also been looking at Michael Golden's book. I wish I could show you interior pages of this. This book is phenomenal. I don't know if you can see like some of the detail of it, but the Michael Golden book is really cool. Let me see if I can see another Michael Golden. No, that one's sold. This is like the cover. Like, look how dope that is.
Oh yeah.
What else am I looking at? And I'm also looking at some like indie comic stuff. Dude, Steve Rude has this artist edition for his Nexus comic strips.
Mm-hmm.
So good, man. Absolutely amazing. Oh, he just bumped up the price. This was like cheaper, like not 2 days ago. Oh, he jumped up the price. That was totally like $200. Oh well. He bumped the price back up. He does these sales where they're actually pretty decent prices, and then he bumps up the price where it's not actually a good deal anymore. Like $400 is way too much for an artist edition, even though that's signed in a slipcase. $300 for the regular hardcover is too much. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But the books are great. He's awesome. Let's see. Let me show you. I got something for you. Check this out. Let's see. I got some video for you guys to watch. Check out.
So I guess that
Let me know when you want me to jump in.
You jump in whatever, buddy.
I guess
You
that
don't have to be
Hellboy.
quiet.
I guess that Hellboy is the one I saw. I could have swore, man, I saw that thing and I didn't buy it because I was like the paper was thin.
It might have been. Hopefully they switched it up.
Yeah.
Check this out. And Zach, don't be a stranger. You can jump in whenever. It's a conversation.
I don't want to interrupt. Just play your vid, and you know what? I'll come in after.
Okay.
I got some primo shit to show you.
Okay. Sounds good. So I found this. This is collecting comic books in 1970. You ready for this?
Do it.
Can you hear it okay?
No. No audio.
No audio? Hold on.
Where's Dusty when we need him?
Yeah, I know. To share audio, share tab. Oh, I was sharing the wrong thing. Okay. There we go.
The Antiques are comic books.
Can you hear it?
At Memory Lane Publishing in Toronto's Markham Street Village, the Antiques
You hear
are
it?
comic books. Superman, Batman, Captain Marvel.
You're muted.
And the proprietor is George Henderson, or as he's better known, Captain George.
All right. Guys, can you hear it okay?
Yes,
Somebody?
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was asking you and no one responded. So, all right, I'll shut up now.
At Memory Lane Publishing in Toronto's Markham Street Village, the Antiques are comic books. Superman, Batman, Captain Marvel. And the proprietor is George Henderson, or as he's better known, Captain George.
I've been in business 4.5 years, and when I came into the business, the fad, or what you want to call it, was at its peak. But it's been going, I would say, since about 1951. But it was underground then. Now it's above ground. The people aren't embarrassed anymore about admitting that they collect comic books.
What would you classify as an antique comic book? What do the collectors go after?
A legitimate antique comic book is anything dated from 1945 to 1933. It's a legitimate antique because comic books themselves, as we know it, that sort of a comic book only started in 1933. So therefore, you know, an antique, it doesn't have to be 100 years old. It has to be near the beginning. So
Yo, look what's on the shelves. Hold on. Check that out, bro.
Thousands of dollars sitting there now. Thousands.
Wait, I'm gonna
Thousands.
rewind. So this is at 57 seconds, so I don't fuck you guys up. But watch this. What's sitting over his shoulder?
Holy shit.
Yeah, in early Action Comics.
Yeah, early Action Comics. You know, early Superman. You know, it's fine. Everything's cool.
There's literally that stuff on the shelf is literally tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yes. What I'm learning is that Bitcoin is the new comics.
All from this.
Yeah. Look at this, dude. Oh, look what's on those shelves. I'm like, oh god, this guy's picking up stacks. It's like This guy picked up a bunch of. See him? He's picking up the comics to kind of pick his favorite one. He's like a legit collector. Like
So
that's
therefore,
thousands of
an
dollars.
antique, it doesn't have to be 100 years
Good
old.
condition
It has
like
to be
that.
near the beginning. So 1933 to 1945.
And just how much do they sell for these antiques? What do collectors pay for them?
Well, take for instance the Batman #1, which everybody talks about, everybody wants. I've gotten 250 for it. It's actually going for about 200 now.
200.
Batman #1, $200.
Can somebody please invent a time machine so we can go back there and
$200,
buy that guy's stock out?
And that's before bags and boards. Look at those.
Yeah, dude, $200. $200. Hold on, let's keep going.
$200 for Batman #1, which was spring 1940. Superman #1, which was in the spring of 1939. I see low prices of about 125, but I also see where it's going for something like 300. It depends on who's selling it and who's buying it.
So $150 to $300 for Superman #1.
But thing is that was a lot of money then.
Yeah,
It wasn't $1 million, bro.
No.
It wasn't like Superman Batman #1, Superman #1, like in a decent condition, is millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions. That's why I was like, oh, Andrew's not here tonight. Loser. Like, we'll have to play it again for him.
Think of some of the books that first appearance of Wolverine was a $60 book when we were teenagers, and we still couldn't afford it. Now what's it worth?
Right.
Way more.
Right. Look at this. And then there's some comics I've never heard of. This one's called Shield Wizard. Can we use that name?
It's pretty good.
Shield Wizard. I love it. Let's see.
One avid collector is George Olszewski. I collect old comic books because
I just want to say this. This is 1970. This guy says he's collecting old comic books. This guy right now, I mean, well, I don't know if he's still with us because this is like 50 years ago. But dude, can you imagine what this guy is? Probably retired on comic books.
Yeah. If he still has his collection, he's rich.
Yeah, and his grandkids are rich.
they're rare. They're interesting because they're precursors of the modern day comics that we have. And it's just sort of a collecting instinct. I like to have them. It's very interesting. Also, the artwork in comics is quite exceptional nowadays. I have seen comic art which would compare favorably to engravings by Doré, for example, in his illustrations to the Divine Comedy. Rare comic books are reaching such value that collectors are beginning to have trouble with thieves. But as George Henderson points out, sometimes it's hard to get anyone to take the theft seriously. Stan Ratton, CBC News.
People are stealing comics, but the cops don't take it seriously. Isn't that wicked? Isn't that cool? I think it's badass. So you guys are muted, so you got to unmute. There's a key to talking, of course.
Well, you know what the really scary thing is?
What's that?
Comic book nerds look the same no matter what era they're
This is
we're all
true, man.
we're all a bunch of pudgy middle-aged guys who wear glasses.
This is totally true.
So, yeah, although Avery, in your case, I'm assuming you're pudgy and middle-aged. I actually have no idea what you look like.
Avery's a big dude.
Yeah, well, I think he's still muted, so he's probably like flinging middle fingers at the screen and shouting mother.
So are you gonna Zach? You gonna share your screen? You got some good stuff to show?
Yes, I will. Hello.
What's up, man? How are you?
Sharing my screen. I got a bunch of primo shit to show you, or at least I think it's primo. For most people who aren't part of like our nerd culture, they probably think it's just like, what the fuck. All right, can you give me like the full package?
Yeah, it's gonna show everything though? I don't think you want me to do that. I think you want me to do this.
Yeah, there we are, perfect.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to start with something that I thought I'd lost years ago, but I found it now in the back into my shelf. This, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, is the very first source book for the very first Star Wars RPG ever made.
Oh, awesome.
I bought this. I think I bought this either in 1990. I think I bought this in 1991, but it was put out in 1987.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry to cut you off, Zach. I didn't look at chat. MK says he's talking about. Wow, look at that shelf. Yeah, right. $200 if it's millions of dollars if you're in Saudi Arabia. MK says his mom kicked him out of the basement, sold his collection for yarn money. All right, and he says Zach, true statement. So I think he's checking out the Star Wars thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. You know, I'm not a comic book guy, so I am distinctly second class in this particular little corner of the universe.
No, you're good.
So yeah,
that's fucking awesome though. So that's the first source book.
to my knowledge, yes. I mean, this came out in '87 from West End Games, and remember, this is like in '87. RPGs were still very much an underground thing. If you played them if you played them in high school or college, you didn't tell anyone about it because you catch a lot of shit. At least, I mean, when I was in high school in early '90s, it was still the tag end of that era where people thought that D&D. Well, people had the same attitudes about D&D that they had years later about Harry Potter. That it was basically like a gateway to Satanism. So I'm getting off track here. So yeah, so this is like, as far as I know, this is the very first source book.
Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah. I could probably sell this, online, on eBay for it's not in mint condition. It's actually pretty battered, but I could probably sell this online for a lot, or maybe like a couple $100. I'm not going to because, it's got a lot of sentimental value. And this predates the old extended universe. So, funny thing, so after Star Wars came out, Return of the Jedi, it wasn't like back then. There were like a handful of novels put out about Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, and of course there were the comic books from Marvel. And actually, as I understand it, it was the Star Wars license that saved Marvel in the '70s. They were about to go under, and that Star Wars money basically kept them from the brink. But there wasn't a whole lot else out there. I mean, but a lot of the stuff that's in here ended up, once in like I think in '91, a few years later, when Heir to the Empire came out, and that basically kickstarted the whole Star Wars extended universe. And a lot of the stuff that ended up in here looks like a giant dick.
It does look like a giant dick, yeah.
Yeah, Tirfon Rebel Outpost. So a lot of the stuff that ended up in here ended up, I guess that they used this as a, this to my mind is where things really started to get interesting, because
Oh wow.
the whole point of any extended universe is that it fills in a lot of the gaps in the world. So like the movies showed, they kind of created the broad picture. This fills in the details. It fills in the shadows, and a lot of the stuff that so it was fun. I liked it. I mean, I never actually got the main roles, because like when I got this, I didn't know what a role playing game was, to be honest. I just thought it was like a weird movie tie-in. I was like, what? I was like 13, so I didn't know anything. And I spent like most of my childhood in bouncing around Asia. I was like living in Hong Kong when I got this. Actually, no, I got it in the States, where it was like on a trip back to the U.S. We'd come back like once a year to visit the mother country, and then we'd go back to Hong Kong.
Now, did you play that game a lot?
I never played this game, actually.
So it was more just studying and kind of hanging out.
I didn't know what a role playing game was. I didn't know this was a source book.
That's so cool.
That's how ignorant I was. But then I started getting into role playing games, and I learned very quickly something about Dungeons and Dragons that this is heavy, that a lot of people tend to forget, which is So D&D, it's divided up by editions. There's first edition, second edition, and so on. And the thing about Edition Wars, which is what there is that when you got something like D&D that's been around for a long time, people tend to gravitate towards the editions that they basically played in when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with second edition,
Wait, okay. Oh, awesome!
and this is
I've never seen this.
well, this is the Dungeon Master's Guide, and second edition is basically like first edition, but with more stuff added to it. And here is the Monstrous Manual.
So you have the complete set of the whole second edition.
Yeah, it's even got the THAC0 rules, I think, or at least I think this is the it might be third. Honestly, they'll start to blur together after a while. Actually, no, I think this. Yeah, look, it's got the old. So we got the old. How do you know it's second edition? It's got the old TSR logo on it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
This is around, but this is before they were bought by Wizards. With all that money selling, all that money from like Magic the Gathering or cardboard crack, as we called it back in the day. I started in second edition, but this is where I really started playing. It was third.
Yeah. I like that cover, man. That's nice.
Yeah.
Very different from fifth, huh?
Very, very different. Well, the thing about third is, so basically there was first edition, which was around for about, from like late 70s to about mid 80s, early late 80s, and they came out with second, which is basically like first edition but expanded. Then third came out, and they basically totally revamped the game because they got rid of a lot of the rules that never made a whole lot of sense. Like they got rid of the THAC0 rule, which don't ask me. It means 2-hit armor class 0. Don't ask me to explain it. I never understood it, and I don't understand it now. Math's not my thing. But you still get a lot of old school grognards who complain about it, even to this day. And there's actually still a pretty strong first edition revival movement, or well, I wouldn't call them. Basically, they're guys who basically got reprinted versions of the original rules.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about first edition, there's a lot of nostalgia about first edition D&D, but when you actually play it, you can see why people moved on from it pretty quick. It's very hard to play straight. You basically have to break the game in order to make it work. I've like 3.5. I like 3.0 better. The problem with 3.0 is that literally like less than a year after it came out, they released 3.5, which is like basically like 3.0, but with a lot of the rules with some adjustments. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of complaint about it because people have spent money buying the books. Now have to buy the books again. But it turned out to be. I got to turn somebody else again. So it turned out to be a good thing. The thing is, here's the thing you got to know about role-playing games as a business. The thing about role is that, so like with like trading card games like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon,
mm-hmm.
you can always make more money by selling cards. You put out a new card, and people will buy it. There are people who will spend. I think there's like Post Malone, the singer rapper guy. I think he spent something like $10 million on a. Well, it might have been. I don't think it was that much, but he spent like a ridiculous amount of money buying like a rare MTG game, MTG Magic the Gathering card, which I've seen people spend a lot of money for like really rare cards. And so you can always make so basically when the guys at Wizard figured that out, they basically created a money spinner. People keep buying new cards. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way with like role playing games. Because the thing about role playing games is once you got the books, you don't really need anything else.
MK said, Zach. MK said, yeah, at the time it smelled of a grift.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it turns out that it was actually but the rules did need to be fixed. But
yeah. That's what I said.
And 3.5, I think in my book, is still the best version ever put out. I mean, there's a reason why Pathfinder is based on it.
3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, I never played 3.5. I was brought in on 5.0, so.
Yeah, it's like 5.0, but more deep, but like more crunchy. There are more stats. which is a good thing and a bad thing. I can see why. I mean, there's a reason why 5 is like more easier to play because they basically got rid of a lot of the stuff. But like again, the thing with role playing games is that once you own the books, that's it. So you can only sell them stuff once. That's why they have campaign worlds. That's why they have all the accessories.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you buy the books, but realistically, once you buy the books, you don't really need anything else if you have a good imagination. I mean, I run Greyhawk because I'm out of pure nostalgia. But the thing about 3.5 is that before long, there are all kinds of supplements coming out, like the complete guide to bards and rogues, and then you begin, and also Tome and Blood, the complete guide to sorcerers. I just like the art. I love the art from 3.5, the cover art. It's just, it looks good. It's not better. Yeah, I mean, it's not better than today, but it's just, for me, it has nostalgia purpose.
Yeah.
Dragonlance 5th Age Book 2. Don't waste your time. Crap.
MK says my favorite still, hands down, was the Monstrous Compendium.
Yeah, I think I got that somewhere, but I didn't have time to grab it. But of course, and there's the Spellbound. This is actually something from the old 2.0. This is the original Forgotten Realms.
Oh wow!
So I just like the way they did the art. And this is the thing about those old TSR books. They really had a lot of good artists on staff, and yeah, I mean, and they were like, you know, but so yes, they had a lot of supplements, and that actually kind of hurt it in the end because it's like the problem you have with Pathfinder now. There are so many books that are supposed to come out, like the complete guide to rogues and warriors, you know, which would have their own subclass. So they got to the point where if you're trying to run a game, which I was doing at the time, you have to show up with like 20 or 30 books. You know, you roll in with like a cart full of books just to run the damn game.
Right. Yeah.
So in that sense, like 5.0 was a bit of a thing. The Book of Vile Darkness. Note the warning.
What does it say? Warning: content is intended for mature audiences only. MK's saying Fiend Folio?
Yeah, the Fiend Folio. I remember that. That was one of the ones that they got the fundamentalists up in arms in the 80s. You know,
Really?
yeah. I mean, look, a lot of those original D&D adventure covers and art, they were pretty out there. You know, I mean, you know, there were more than a few with, like, you know, almost naked women, like, except for a few strategic strips of cloth. So like stuff like that, basically.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I mean, I bought this. Honestly, I kind of wish I hadn't, because it wasn't very good, you know. But there were also, but the thing about 3.5, and this is like a nostalgia thing for me, is that this is when Wizards did something called the OGL, the Open Game License. Basically, they basically published the rules and settings for D20, for the D20 system, and they basically said that anybody who wanted to create stuff for it could do so without having to pay a licensing fee. So it was an open license. So the mid to late 90s is like there was an explosion of like third-party content, third-party settings, and it was just really cool. There's like a lot of really good stuff out there. So, for example, Sword and Sorcery, which was put out by White Wolf. Well, I mean, it was an imprint of White Wolf, I think. You know, Shelzar, City of Sins. Not as spicy on the inside as I thought, actually. I mean, unless you get turned on by like game rules, and believe me, there are guys who do get turned on by game rules. But no, there was also something called Shadow Force Archer, which actually give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Wait, here, while you're doing that, I'll pop back in here. Yeah, man, I've come to really like RPGs. I mean, I've been playing. I feel like I'm still a newbie, but I've been playing them now for like 10 years. I still feel like I'm the new kind of like I guess how Zach feels about comics. I'm kind of like, well, I missed out. I feel like I missed out on all the stuff. Like, fifth edition is pretty much what I'm on, and like that's still the current version. It's been like a decade, I think. So, but hey, Avery, you there? I want to show you something. If you unmute yourself. All right, fine. Be that way.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't find it. Anyway,
I'm busy. Check your email.
So
check my email.
This was a game. Basically, it was
Hold on. Let me put you back.
right.
Zach, let me put you full screen again. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So basically, it was a. I'll show you right back again. Sorry, I just grabbed something.
He keeps leaving.
Waka waka waka.
Sorry about that. So yeah, it was basically one of those. It was like D&D, but for like spies. So if you wanted to play James Bond,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really cool. But yeah. So this is the Monsters Manual for 3.3.0.
Oh, that's cool.
Monster Mythology. The old second edition supplements they didn't have.
Now when did this stuff come out, Zach?
Well, this here, I think this, if it still has the old TSR logo on it, it came out before they were bought out by Wizards. I think this one actually was. Hold on, let me check it.
MK says, "LOL, I just pulled up Monster Manual 1 and 2.
Check out the
MM2
art.
was 1983.
Check out the art.
Yeah, I
That's
just pulled
awesome.
out my monster too.
Yeah.
Avery.
What?
Yeah. So that's the thing about the 3. There was a lot of old school stuff. A lot of stuff there that you could basically. Yeah. More. This is the old lore book. So there was a lot of third-party stuff that came out. Like my favorite was Spycraft, which was it was the D20 role, but basically if you wanted to play like James Bond.
Now was that? I used to have the very first TSR game I ever bought was a spy game. I don't remember the name of it. It was very much a James Bond game.
It might have. I mean, back before they got bought out, they were like Marvel. They would sign licenses to generate games based on popular properties.
Yeah.
So for example, before they were bought out by Wizards, the lady who bought them, Lorraine Williams, she was actually the heir to the Buck Rogers. Her family owned Buck Rogers. The whole that. Where'd Avery go?
I have no idea. His internet's probably out or something.
All right, so her family owned Buck Rogers, and so she basically bought TSR as a way to kind of like revitalize what was at that point, and even it was basically a dead franchise.
Yep. MK says James Bond 007 assault game sitting on my shelf. And Rick, what's up, Rick? How are you doing? Rick says, didn't TSR get into comics for a minute?
Yeah, they did. Well, more precisely, they licensed their comics to it. I think it was Marvel. There were Dungeons and Dragons comics in the 90s. Well, a lot of them. I think you can still find them in anthologies. They really hit their stride there once R.A. Salvatore created Fritz de Orden. Like the Dark Elf Ranger.
Mm.
Like basically, they're a big character. I don't know why the D&D movie didn't pull them into the mix. I mean, although I think it would have been a problem because there was a funny story about a bunch of kids who went to a con, as Drow, and they got like lambasted because
I heard about this. Yeah, after that, I think we were playing. I think you and I were playing a game because like right after that came out.
Yeah.
I ended up creating a character that was a bard, that had that as a bard he cosplayed as a drow, and he had like exceptionally high charisma. So so basically our GM had to play all of the townies as what he considered racist because everyone he would try to continually get the bard in trouble, and the bard's charisma would always win, and so all the townsfolk were like, "Yeah, we're cool with this."
Yeah, that game was just insane. But so you know, enemies and allies and another supplement.
Hold on. I guess I'll let you. There you
go. This one I really liked. Birthright. This was actually and this actually like really picked up in Gen Con, and the whole idea was that instead of just being like a standard adventuring guide, there was a game where you could actually role play being a ruler, and there was a whole system for like government, for like ruling a realm. Didn't really work out because it turns out people don't play role playing games, you know, in order to set our agricultural policy. But it was interesting, and so you know, more stuff. Hero Builder's Guidebook, Defender's Guidebook. You're seeing a pattern here with 3.5. This is one of the reasons why I think it died.
Yeah, right.
To the point where it was basically unplayable. The Complete Warrior.
Golly, so many books, dude.
Imagine showing up to try to run one of these games, and you've got like 20 books in your backpack, and you walk in and you're literally like hunched over, and you know if you're like a somewhat fit 20-something guy, and your back's about to go out because you're carrying about like 80 pounds of basically paper in your back.
Right. Yeah.
So that was that's one of the reasons why I never got back into Pathfinder, is because I just couldn't. You know, it's like I can't do that again.
80-pound bags of books.
Yeah, this actually I liked here is
What is that? East.
But yeah, this is one of the source books for Forgotten Realms. They don't really have these anymore. But yeah, so that was in the OGL though. They had a whole bunch of, there was like Spycraft. There was they had a bunch of subsettings for that. My favorite actually was a Conan the Barbarian game.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem there is that but then of course about a couple years ago, right before the D&D movie came out, Wizards decided to try and rewrite the terms for the OGL so they could start demanding fees from people who.
This is what just happened, right?
Well, it almost happened. What happened was that it created such a big stink, and there were some people complaining about it, and people were actually saying they're not going to play D&D anymore. And this, bear in mind, this is right before the movie was about to come out.
Yeah,
and,
that was a mess.
So they backed off pretty fast. Some people said the reason why the movie flopped is because of that. I don't think so. I mean, honestly, it was like literally over in a week and out of the news like a week after that. And honestly, there weren't enough gamers to make a difference either way.
Mm-hmm.
It flopped because it just wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
It was badly written, and it didn't really have anything to do with it was obviously for D&D, but the characters weren't that interesting. It made the mistake of having like boring characters that no one cared about, and not going enough into the lore and going too much into the lore at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
how could they follow the Wayans one?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's
that masterpiece.
It was. They had a really
perfect.
low bar to clear. So the movie that came out last year was definitely better than the ones with like Damon Wayans. Although I still say that Jeremy Irons, you know, he gave a masterclass in scenery chewing in that movie.
Yeah, the only thing like D&D I'm familiar with is like the 80s kids cartoon.
They actually had a tribute to that in the movie.
Yeah, and I saw some of the new releases of the toys. They ended up in Ollies. They actually look pretty good.
Yeah, well, the thing is that the movie just didn't do very well. I think probably because, honestly, at the end of the day, the reason why is that D&D, Dungeons & Dragons itself, it doesn't have a story attached to it. You know, Harry Potter has a story attached to it. Dungeons & Dragons, it's like D&D the movie. It's like chess the movie. What do you?
Yeah, D&D is a setting and a set of rules.
Yeah,
the story can be anything you want, man. Like your main character can be like a little goblin or
Well, the problem is,
you know, the
story they
traditional
came
hero.
the story they came up with was just wasn't very good. I mean, I don't know why they just didn't adapt like R.A. Salvatore's Driz novels, because those are like the most popular non-game related stuff they put out. I mean, and like there's a reason why Driz Do'Urden, he's basically like a Dark Elf Ranger, has like is in like 20 or 30 separate books, books, computer games, etc., etc.
Yeah, I probably would have gone and seen that because I read the first 3 books like 20 something years ago.
Problem is, of course, though, is how do you do the drow without people freaking out about blackface?
MK says, I mean, what kid didn't want to get into one of those creepy amusement park rides and be taken into the D&D realm?
Well, the funny thing about the D&D cartoon is that cartoon was actually a bit of a double-edged sword for Gary Gygax. You know, the guy he was like one of the him and like Dave Arneson, they created D&D in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And actually, you can go to Gygax's house today. It's something like a shrine for gamers. And if you go into the basement, the original sand table where they used to do war games and actually like invented D&D is still down there. It's like a shrine. But Gygax went to Hollywood, where he oversaw the creation of the cartoon, and that actually backfired on him because as I understand, that's one of the reasons why he kind of got pushed out of the company. You know, basically, he was like he was like Steve Jobs. You know, he basically got pushed out of the company he helped create, and then D&D went through a bunch of other owners. Then it was bought by Wizards, which was bought by Hasbro, and now it's like we're getting to the point in the world where everything's going to be owned by the corporation. So, anyway, that's enough D&D stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's so it's actually so D&D. Yeah, they tried to revoke the OGL. It didn't work. The movie came out. It kind of flopped. Honestly, I always thought that Dungeons and Dragons would have done better as a TV show, just because of the way it's structured. I mean, you do one of the old novels as a TV series, or better yet, do one of the adventures like Tomb of Horrors, the series, or White Plume Mountain, or just one of those old things. I mean, it would have been interesting, but
there's a Amazon show based on somebody's playthrough, like
Vox Machina. Those guys actually started as a podcast where they're playing, and they kind of like spun that out into their own system. Cartoon's okay. I mean, it's honestly I don't think they really get the balance right a lot of times. But you know,
Vox is funny.
I'm not really a fan. But then again, I have the older I get, the less fantasy I actually like watching.
From what I understand, though, that show's like super inside baseball. Like you had to have watched their playthrough, watch them to get it.
I no offense, guys, but I find people watching people. If I didn't like playing D&D, but watching people playing D&D is like watching paint dry. Without the benefit of being drunk or stoned.
Even with the acting, even with the talented actors, I just can't get into it, man.
No, it's like. But anyway, so last few items. I pulled this randomly off the shelf. Kushiel's Dart. And this is actually I did this because this is like one of my complaints about the fantasy genre. So this is by an author named Jacqueline Carey, and. Well, first off, if you like erotic fantasy, this is your thing. The main character is basically it's basically set in a fantasy Europe, where essentially France is not the land of frog eating revolutionary discontents that is today, but a land settled by angels, where apparently having weird freaky sex is not just allowed, but a sacrament. You get the feeling that the author was kind of like working through some stuff as she was writing this. The main character is apparently a young woman who's feels pain as like pleasure. And okay, is there a cat? Is one of my cats climbing the wall behind me?
I don't think so.
Well, he was. She was. She's probably about to jump off on my desk. So but the thing is that this is like one of the main complaints I have about the fantasy genre is that it's. When it comes to the world building, it's just lazy a lot of times. You know, they'll basically take like an existing culture and kind of file off the serial numbers and call it something new. Mm-hmm. So, like for example, like Game of Thrones, you know, the Song of Ice and Fire. basically like England, medieval England. It's not a lot of work went into it. I mean, people say it's really detailed. It is, but I personally, when I was reading, I was thinking, you could have like spent a little more time trying to like be original with the setting, because in a fantasy novel, the setting is part of the story.
Mhm.
And I can't tell you how many books I read back in the 90s where people, for some reason, there was a period where like basically like having a Celtic setting was the thing. So you open up a book and like everyone would be like, Finn and Mac and like kind of like these like the faux Irish names, and it's like, if I was an actual Irishman reading this stuff, I'd kind of be insulted. But so enough for that. A few more things. And I'm bringing up these extra books because this is for sale on YouTube on eBay. So please buy it.
What's that on eBay? Oh, it's currently for sale.
Dune House Harkonnen by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. And the story goes is that Kevin J. Anderson, Brian Herbert's the son of, Frank Herbert, the guy who wrote Dune. And, Frank Herbert died, like before he could finish the series. And for like 20 years, people thought that's how it was going to be. And then Brian Herbert says that he supposedly found in a safe deposit box in Seattle a bunch of old floppy disks which had his notes about the final book.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of like just like writing the final book and being done with it.
Really quick, Zach, 1 second. MK was saying, gotta head to work. Thanks for the nerdery, gents. The more we can work the cards into the AF game and brand would be awesome. Small, easy, and collectible. Oh yeah. No, that's 100% what we're working on.
All right, so
I can't wait. I can't wait to show you what we're.
So basically,
thank you, MK.
So what happened was that Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, who's basically like basically a writer for hire, instead of just writing the final novel, they decided, what, we're going to do a whole bunch of prequels to explain why the Dune universe the way it is. Or in other words, we're going to milk this. We're going to milk this fucker for all the money it's worth. Which, if you're if you're the heir to one of the greatest science fiction books series ever written, I'd do the same thing. Only I do it even more. So there's some like 20 or 30 of these out there. Some of them are okay, some of them are not.
Now, are they super? Are this like a rare book?
I doubt it. I mean, it's. There's a bunch of them for sale on eBay. I think I got mine for like $9.99. I saw one being sold for. I actually sold one of those that was like being sold for like $10,000, but it was signed by the author. And Kevin J. Anderson's a good writer, but he's not like worth $10,000. Right. Yeah. Most of those are being sold for like most of the hardcovers are being sold for like $7.99, $9.99. I actually sold a book the other day. It was like a trade paperback. This is actually World War in the Balance. It's Harry Turtledove. He specializes in alternative history, especially alternative World War II history. It's kind of a joke at this point. In that one, Earth is invaded by alien lizards right in the middle of World War II. So it's good. Mm-hmm. And of course, the Shatnerizer. So those you don't remember, William Shatner, in addition to being an acting legend, a recording superstar, he's also a best-selling author. Yeah. He wrote a book called Tech War. I think this is actually like one of the sequels.
Did he actually write Tech War? I remember when that came out.
I don't think so. I'm 90% certain there were a bunch of ghostwriters in there, and he just stamped his name on it. I mean, it's like Clive Cussler or Tom Clancy. Oh, yeah. Someone else wrote the book. You put your name on it, and you collect the royalties, I guess. Split them.
Right.
So yeah. So I mean, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was all right. I think there was a TV series made about it in the 90s. It didn't do anything. There was a famous Simpson bit about Tech War that was actually pretty funny. But it was it's interesting though because it was about AI and basically plugging your brain into an artificial reality. Mm-hmm. So it was actually a little bit prescient, but The books, they're okay. I mean, William Shatner is, he got to make a living, right? I've only got two more, guys. I'm almost done.
No, you're good. Take your time, whatever.
This is the book that when I die, I'm gonna have it in my will. This has to be in my coffin with me.
What is that? Oh shit!
The it's a collector's edition of the Lord of the Rings, and unfortunately, it's probably not worth a lot because it came in a cardboard sleeve that I lost. And I tore the cover off of it because for various reasons. And I think there's like a pizza sauce stain in here somewhere because when I was reading it, but the reason why I bring this
whole
up,
thing.
yeah, but the reason why I bring this up though is, so you guys have heard of the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power that came out on Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not very good. It's well, I could, if I wanted to tell you everything that was wrong with it, I mean, as a generic fantasy show, it's okay. As a Lord of the Rings TV show, it's dog shit basically. Really badly written. I mean, they had some really good actors in it. Like the lady they had playing like the Queen of Numenor, Cynthia Addai Brown. She's one of those actors you could she can literally play anything. She's really good. But people ask, so here's the funny thing is that apparently the rights to the actual Lord of the Rings story is I think owned, like the movie rights are still owned by I don't know who they're owned by. I think it's the same people who own. I think it's owned by Warner's or New Line Cinema or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with the Silmarillion, which is basically Tolkien's mythology. Mm-hmm. After he died, his son collected all his notes and put together basically it's essentially like a collection of like myths of a world that never existed. And supposedly this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to do a TV series based on this, which is about all the stuff that happened before, basically about a war between the gods and the devil before the Lord of the Rings took place. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get the rights to it apparently. So basically everything that's about the Rings of Power is all this. It's all the stuff in the back of the book that no one ever reads. Which should tell you all you need to know. Well,
want.
Yeah. So
Rick says I had one of those tech comics by Shatner. Garbage. Yeah, the comics.
The comics were trash.
Comics were not good.
The books weren't that much better to be honest, but the TV show was. Well, it was a low budget '90s sci-fi TV show. So. That should tell you all you need to know.
Right on, man. That was awesome, dude. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope it was educational.
It was super good, man. I love seeing all that stuff because that's all the stuff that I missed.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm really enjoying stuff.
I've got at least two more shows that I can show on slow days. So.
All right, it sounds good. I got something. This is. Granted, this is for Avery.
But I'm stopping my cam now, so
you're good. You're good.
Gaze upon my beard, which honestly, my mother's like on my case to get this shaved.
Moms.
I'm actually thinking. I mean, at one point I actually wanted to grow like a full Fu Manchu beard. This is about as long as it gets, unfortunately. And given that I live in Florida and I go swimming, every time I come back, it's like scrunched up to here and like solid ball of salt.
So,
anyway, stopping now.
No worries. So check this out. I've got this 20-second clip. I wish I could hide the name, but it's just too much trouble. So try not to. So Avery, try not to. It's 20-second clip, but so try not to look at the title at the top if you can. If you can, whatever. But you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna when I hit the button, it's gonna be a full screen video, and of course the title's gonna be in the top left. Try to ignore it if you can, and I'll play it. Ready?
Okay.
This will give you a kick.
All right.
Here we go.
There are a lot of goofy kind of villains I like from being a kid. The Absorbing Man. a pointed-headed guy with ears sticking out and a big wrecking ball. To me, that's a great Thor villain. Captain America, Joe America, the Red Skull, a Nazi villain. I mean, that's the greatest. For different characters, I think there's different great villains.
God, that big hoop earring he used to have.
Right? Who is it?
I
You know
remember
who it
that,
is.
like he was still wearing it when I met him.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
The first time.
So, but he looks like he's in high school, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Like, so this is Mike Mignola, creator of Hellboy. I found this video. I don't know where it's from. I've been trying to find out. But
It's old.
it's old, and I mean that's got to be Farford and the Grey Mouser, maybe earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe Cosmic Odyssey.
It's definitely. I want to say this looks like early 90s.
Yeah, he's got to be. Maybe even late 80s.
Because
It kind of looks like our Lapdog Press video quality.
yeah,
right?
because he's bald and beard and old now.
Yeah, and he was about 10 years older than us, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a little older. So yeah, that would put us as teenagers, right? That would put us at DA when he probably made this. Because he's in his 20s, he's a pro at this point, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy though?
it's wild.
Isn't that cool?
I knew who it was.
Yeah, I know. It's really obvious.
But it's because I met him back in the first time in 94.
It almost
in
looks like
94.
Andrew from 1994.
Yeah.
You know? Except this guy's cooler. He's got a giant hoop earring.
Jesus. Like even by the 90s, like wearing one earring was over.
Yeah, well, he was more about being a pirate, I think.
Yeah.
It was like pirate chic. I think he was trying to bring that back.
Like I even took my earrings out.
Yeah.
I don't even have them anymore. I took them out like over a year ago.
No, yeah, I know.
They may be healed up by now, and I had like 10 gauge hoops in mine. I don't know if I want to try and shove those back in there, dude. It's like sticking a pencil.
That would hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Check this out. This is Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell, and the Halcyon Days of Wildstorm.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So what if they draw people with unrealistic proportions? So what if they create an image of a woman that no human female could possibly achieve? They're snappy dressers, and that's all that matters.
How do I look? Just kidding. I traveled from Los Angeles to La Jolla to talk to a bunch of stylish guys here at Wildstorm Productions. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and say what comic you work on?
Anti-Gravity Room.
I'm Matt Broom and I work on Wildcat.
I'm Jim Lee. I'm working on Wildcats X-Men.
I'm J. Scott Campbell. I'm penciler on Gen 13.
I'm Richard Bennett and I work on Brass.
My name is Javad Kirby. You can call me JJ and I work on Backlash.
My name is Ryan Benjamin and I work on Iron Man.
Okay, so first off.
So this is during this. He said, so Ryan Benjamin's working on Iron Man, and Jim Lee is working on X-Men Wildcats. So you know exactly when this is, right?
Yeah, like late 90s.
Yeah.
Dude, Tom Rainey. You got to go to Tom Rainey's Instagram. He did a pinup piece of Brett Blevins era New Mutants with Gossamer as the center. It's so good.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna look at that up while this video plays.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm not on Instagram. I mean, I have an account, but barely. Hold on.
How important is costume design to a character?
When you do character designs, you spend a lot of time developing a character so that they can be animated. And nowadays, you think of them a lot in the context of multimedia.
Okay, well, where do you get your ideas for the costumes, or do you have some sort of fashion consultant?
We steal them from Jim's sketchbook.
A lot of it actually comes from fashion. I watch a lot of VH1 and MTV, the Fashion Hour.
Jim Lee rules the world with an iron fist.
A lot of designers and stuff, the kind of things they do, I think, are actually influenced by things we do, and we're influenced by them because we tend to do very weird, kind of very slinky, tight, highly reflective costumes.
I pick up ideas from everywhere. It's like, if you got it, I'm taking it and making it mine. It's just like I gave myself a seatbelt. I bought a check it out. It's tight, you know what I'm saying? I got a seatbelt and it works, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
Well, what do you do to make the outfits original?
It's influenced by real life things. Like, when the Gulf War was happening, you saw images of soldiers and those big movement superheroes that have belts with pouches and look like, basically a pouch, and they never use them for anything, but they look kind of cool.
It's a fine line between making a costume look too complex versus the fact that you have to draw it over and over and over again.
The characters have to have their own personality, and it should come out in their costume. And if you got 50 guys standing around, you got to be able to figure out which guy's which. Even if it's a little tiny shot, you got to be able to know who's who.
A really coolly designed logo can really say a lot about characters.
Or just the fact that if you see a silhouette of Batman and just see the ears, I mean, it's recognizable as Batman. It doesn't get confused for anything else. And I think sometimes that kind of simplicity, at least an element of that, is a good thing to throw into a costume. Like, I think there's a character in Gen 15, Freefall, and her distinguishing point is that she's got pink in her hair. And I think hopefully you don't distinguish or confuse her for any other character in the comic book universe simply because nobody else has a little pink stripe in her hair.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I love that shit. I love seeing that shit.
The thing that really stands out to me about
Otherwise, you're in trouble. Now, there are many artists.
Hold on, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, what I was going to say is the thing that I found interesting about that is, like, today, all those guys, if you interview them, you'd be interviewing them in their homes because they're all working from home. They have a little office they're drawing there. But back in the day, they would go into an office, and there would be an actual bullpen.
Yep.
And I don't know.
It's really weird how that's like a back in the day thing now.
I just turned 47.
Yeah.
So I'm about, I don't know, 20, maybe like 15 years away from being able to claim Social Security, assuming it still exists by the time I get there, which it probably won't. Sorry, didn't mean to bring up politics.
No, it's not politics. Whatever, man. It's really. Oh man,
that's just reality.
It's just reality. Yeah. Man, yeah, it's just really cool to see all this stuff, and like, I love. There's so much talent out there, and so many good books, and so many good artists. And
was this before or after the crash?
Before.
It would have been after.
Oh, after that one?
I think. Well,
or during.
Maybe during. Maybe like right after. Well, because they brought. I think it might have been after, because that was why they went back and begged Jim Lee and LaFeld and all those guys to come back. Right? They paid them, just a fortune. So I think it was after, if I had to guess. I could be wrong.
But it was a big downward spiral for everything for years. They were still out selling what they do now.
Yeah, I know. That downward spiral, the bottom of the barrel they had was like still much better than they're doing now.
I mean, it's like, if you like, if you go on the internet, whenever I go on YouTube, I every so often I'll see like a little pop-up from your boy Zach about how the latest batch of Tumblerinas is now begging for money because they've been let go because Marvel's dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad.
It's bad, man. Well, I mean, they didn't treat it well. They didn't treat people well, and I mean, you kind of get what you get after that. I think
they flat out told tens of thousands of fans to go away. They went away.
Yeah, man. They made it really hard to enjoy them, which is really silly. But whatever, man. I mean, honestly, it doesn't even affect me anymore because there's so many good books and there's so many good.
There's so many good indie books.
There's so many. There's so much. There's more stuff to buy than ever. I will never have a complete collection of all the shit that I want. Oh, by the way, Avery and this, Zach, you might be interested in this as well. So last week I think I showed the Hellboy Humble Bundle, right?
Yeah.
I originally thought it was just BPRD and not anything else. I was wrong. I ended up buying it, and it was everything. It was every single Hellboy book and every single BPRD book. It was everything. The whole thing. 70 books. 70.
Oh, cool.
I didn't even know Mike Mignola had that much stuff under his belt. I mean, in terms of, he didn't do it all. He had, but still in terms of a universe, to have 70 volumes, that's crazy. So
Cool.
I don't know. It's $30. It's kind of worth it in my book. It's pretty crazy.
On what site?
Humble Bundle. I can give you the link if you want.
Is it all PDFs?
It's all PDFs. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it's all PDFs, which is how they can do it for $30, right? But
Yeah.
if you go to, like, I'll show you Humble. Give me 1 second. Humble Bundle, Mike Mignola, because it fooled me, because what they're doing is, and this is all for charity, and it's actually for the it's all for the Hero Initiative, right? It's super worth it. Check this out. So I'm gonna. This is humblebundle.com, and this is because I called it Mike Mignola's BPRD book bundle, and there's 36 items, and so you can see this is the Hellboy bundle. So inside of here is all of the Hellboy books. So there's 35 books in here, and then there's like another 35 here, right? But it's everything. So it's all of the Guy Davis BPRDs. It's all of the Mike Mignola art books. It's also like art of Mike Mignola. I mean, it's everything. Every single book that came out. In fact, where do I have it? I have it somewhere. Yeah, check this out. It's also all of the Duncan Fegredo books, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It might be worth it. It's pretty cool. It's it's huge. It's like 17 gigs of books. It's massive.
Jeez, it take forever to download it.
Nah, I downloaded it. Like, you just hit one at a time. Don't, like, they give you, Humble Bundle gives you a batch option to download it, and I made the mistake and did that at first, and that was a mistake, because it just was like 70 pop-ups asking permission to download, and I was like, okay, fuck this. And so I just went and I did it like one by one. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool, man. It's got, I mean, everything, dude. Like, even the winter ones. Remember the old winter Hellboy winter specials with like Art Adams and Art Adams and Adam Hughes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff is here, man. So it is, and it's also cool because I haven't been able to read the Duncan Fegredo stuff. So things like the Wild Hunt and stuff like that, I can now read, which is sick. I'm super excited about it. So
I want to get the library editions to just have it all on the bookshelf.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the library editions too. You know, there's a box set. That it's not
Really?
a library edition though. It's just box set. But like look at this. This is.
I like the library editions because they're oversized.
Yeah. Duncan Fegredo is a fucking genius.
Oh, he out Mike Mignola.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He's like, oh, I got your style right here.
Yeah.
But this is kind of what I've been trying to talk about. Like, obviously, this is Duncan Fegredo style, but like getting that kind of like that black to white composition a little better, you know.
Plus, I love the subtle muted colors.
Oh, I love it.
Except for the red of Hellboy.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a master book, dude. Like, everyone that's on this team is a master. Like, Dave Stewart is a master colorist, and Mignola, of course, is a master, and then you got Fegredo on this book. Like, good God, man. He must have had some good Hollywood money to fucking pay these guys. Look at
Plus,
that.
these books actually sold.
Oh, yeah. Look how good that is.
It's good.
Ugh. This is why it's totally, to me anyway, I'm sharing it. To me, it's absolutely worth like $30. Like, I was not even, it wasn't even a question. And apparently they're working on a new Hellboy movie right now, and Wild Hunt, I think, is the book they're focusing on.
They're not bringing back Dave Harbour to play Hellboy, are they? Because
I don't think so.
That didn't work.
I don't know too much about it, but no, I think it's like kind of a complete reboot again.
That's another reboot. I mean, I the first Hellboy movie with Ron Perlman was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. I like the second one too. I thought the second one was pretty decent.
Yeah, well, that was Guillermo del Toro's like Hollywood debut, I think. That was like his big Hollywood break, and it didn't do well because I was expecting something along the lines of the first movie, but Del Toro's got his own very weird style.
Del Toro did the first one too.
No, I don't think he did actually. That was someone else.
I don't know.
Because Hellboy. Let me look it up.
He had already done Blade 2 by the time he did Hellboy 2.
Oh,
didn't he do like Pan's Labyrinth before that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was like the thing that put him on the map. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. He did do Hellboy for Hellboy #1.
Yeah.
But it was like Hellboy 2 where he really started like bringing in that his signature style. I mean, I liked it though. I mean,
well, Mimic was his first. Like, it wasn't his first movie, but Mimic was one of his big movies.
Yeah, Mimic was cool. Yeah. Like, but just look how good this is. God damn it! I can't. I'm gonna keep looking at it. I gotta turn it off.
Oh, speaking of totally unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I just broke that. Apparently, Michael Bay is about to do a Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie. And
that doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm fairly certain that on the day that comes out, the sun will swallow the earth. to spare us the horrors, our eyes, the horror.
It might be good. No,
I generally don't. I walked out of the theater of for the G.I. Joe movie because I could literally feel my IQ slipping like 1 point a minute. Because like if I stay here and watch this, I'm going to be a dribbling idiot by the time the movie's over.
I couldn't watch it all.
It was just. I mean, I feel bad for Sienna Miller, because she's a good actress. If you and she's in that movie. It's like you can see her thinking like the things I do for a paycheck. Just get this over. Just get it over with.
Oh,
sorry. I'm a little burned out on franchise movies now. I mean,
yeah, I kind of am too, honestly.
I mean, I didn't see the new Mad Max movie. I didn't want to see it. I didn't see Furiosa, the first, like the one with the. I never saw Fury Road, and I just think the whole big IP era in movies and whatnot is pretty much coming to its natural conclusion.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. At least for a while. It's all cyclical.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sad that Star Wars is probably going to die after the Acolyte. Just from what I'm hearing about it, it's not very good.
The Acolyte?
Yeah, it's like the next Star Wars TV show on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's being run by Harvey Weinstein's former assistant.
Oh, her, yeah.
Yeah.
She's,
So I'm not expecting good things. See, that's the thing is that I mean, you know, if you're a guy, someone our age, people wonder why we care so much about Star Wars. Well, Star Wars was the mythology of our childhood. There's a reason why Kevin Smith was able to make a living, you know, riffing on it for like 20 odd years.
Of course.
Because there's a big audience of people out there for whom, you know, it matters. And then just to see Disney basically buy it, strip mine it, and then never mind the woke bullshit. It's just bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tolerate the woke crap if they just would tell a decent story. They can't even do that. Freaking Disney, you know, which is like one of the titans of American popular culture, cannot tell a good story anymore.
No.
Sorry.
Well, I will say this, and we talk about this quite a bit, but I think it's bears repeating. Is I think that's also why we have a chance in hell of being able to do all the stuff we want to do, because these guys can't do it anymore. Like 20 years ago, you would have no chance against Disney, and now you have every chance in the world because they suck.
There's something else that I think I realized looking at the stuff is that because if you think about the traditional entertainment, you know, machine, traditional arts and entertainment media machine, it runs really slowly. And like one of the problems they're having right now, you know, it's like the pandemic was over like 3 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're still feeling the after effects because it takes so long to make a movie now, or to put anything out, that by the time and things move so much more quickly that by the time you start, you know, and also it costs so much money to do this stuff.
Yeah.
You're wondering, like take Godzilla -1, which is probably, you know, which it cost $70 million to make.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, why, you know, where does all the money go when Hollywood makes these movies? And just and the thing, I think the reason why that they're getting hurt, you know, in the age of like YouTube is because it's not just because there's like millions of new creators out there. It's because the new creators, they can move more quickly. I mean, you know, like Mr. Beast can put out a video, like, you know, like chop together something and put it out in a day. I'm just, you know, like, and once AI comes along and, you know, 3D, I mean, who's to say that someone couldn't put together their own CGI movie and have it out in like 2 months?
I saw there's a company right now called The Simulation, and their pitch is basically 1 million Truman shows run by AI. And so what they're doing is they've created a world full of AI agents, and each basically you get to, they're saying that, and this is like a serious group, they're former Apple, former Oculus, former Google, and they're saying that the future of entertainment is you actually writing the episode via a prompt, like, basically you could say something that happened today. Okay, I'm not gonna say what, but let's just say based on the events that happened like the last couple of days, you could have a show generated as a comedy based on that. Basically, you're watching the thing that you're making the thing that you want to watch in real time. It's pretty crazy.
Let me know when it's set up for porn.
Yeah, I know. That should be the first use case, to be honest.
Well, actually, it's funny you mention that because I think one industry that's really going to be hurt by AI going forward is, you know, blue movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which, because, you know, if you think about it, if you can, I mean, there's not a lot. It doesn't require a lot to like generate stuff for that. And, you know, let's be honest, most people are going to be watching it. They're not going to be watching for like more than like a few minutes at a time for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, all the scandals people are having about like Pornhub and all the abuses in that, that's a problem that might well solve itself. I mean, of course, it's going to be a lot of people are going to be thrown out of work, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm just, I'm just wondering. I'm just looking forward to like what new stuff's going to come out. In this brave new world. I mean, with like publishing, we've had self-publishing for like, I don't know, 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who become millionaires doing it. I mean, obviously, I'm not one of them, because if I was, why would I be talking to you guys?
Thanks.
No, I love you guys. Actually, if I was,
know,
I'd probably be the one funding you, because I have no kids, and I figure, fuck it, I'm not giving the government a dime. But but no, think about it. I mean, seriously, really think about it. What when if you can use, I mean, AI is writing. Pure AI writing is dog shit. I mean, I've tried it. I actually used AI to generate a novel based on my outline.
Mm-hmm.
After going through it, I realized, you know what? I would have to literally rewrite every single line in this novel in order to get it even halfway readable. What AI does is that it acts as a supplement to what you're doing. So what I'm actually doing right now is an experiment. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be writing like 20,000 word vignette stories,
mm-hmm.
and then like generating use the plot line for that to generate a separate AI novel, and just grab stuff from it to bulk it out. Bits and pieces here, slot it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like the parts, like don't grab the dialogue, just grab like the descriptions and stuff, and it can work. I mean, it's people saying this is going to be the end of the world. This is going to put writers out of work. It's a tool. It's like anything else. It's what you make of it. And if I think people who think that they can just like punch in a few data points and say, okay, write me a script,
mm-hmm.
they're going to be disappointed, because it's what's going to come out. It's you're going to need a human being to just, at the very least, to clean it up.
Yeah.
I mean, look at look what's going on with Midjourney. I mean, I don't think Midjourney is going to take over comic artists' jobs anytime soon, because for one thing, they still can't draw the fucking hands right. I mean, I'm posting stuff on my Twitter feed and my Instagram right now, like
mm-hmm.
Old AI stuff, and the last one I pointed out, it was one of the best ones I had, because all the hands in that image didn't look like crab claws.
Right.
Anyway.
The Midjourney. I mean, like I said, I don't think. I think people freaking out about Midjourney is way overrated. I think people think it's just like push button, make comic, and there are a million different ways to use.
They thought that about Photoshop when it came along,
and 3D animation. Everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, there are different ways you can use the tool, man. Like you can use it for parts, use it for like what we did. Like on the cover of the WAGMI book, I was experimenting with it for speed lines, and it came out fucking great. Like speed lines.
Like the Writers Guild, I think, is trying to sue ChatGPT for copyright infringement, because supposedly they basically train their AI in pretty much every free bit of like text they can get their hands on.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be hard to prove, because how are you gonna prove it without like violating a lot of corporate secrets. But there was an article I read about a bunch of authors who are using AI to write their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they don't use to copy other people's writing. They basically they train the AI on their own style. So you tell me. So basically the AI it's not like copying from Faulkner or Tolkien or anything like that. It's your own style, which you're basically training the AI to use. So does that count as cheating? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I agree with you, man. I don't think it's cheating at all.
I mean,
Andrew's just in time. He chimes in on my phone and says that he will be back in time for next week's show. He went to Missouri
Oh, right. He went to Branson. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm on the way to Missouri. I'm like, oh yeah, right. That's right.
Lame.
I want to ask him about that because like Branson's like it's like budget. It's like budget Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like budget Nashville.
Yeah, don't worry. He's not going to do anything cool.
He's not going to do anything cool. I know, not in Missouri anyway.
He's not. You don't drink. You don't smoke. You don't gamble.
He does run a comic book store. So that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I think it's cool.
Well, it's cooler than anything I've ever done.
It's cool to us. It's not exactly like pussy wagon material. It was never a place where you were going to get a date unless you were a girl who was in the comic books, in which case you would be spoiled for choice. Or a young boy in the wrong shop.
Oh
well, let's not go there. I mean,
let's not. Oh.
Actually, no. Come on, guys. It's 2024. You know, let's be open minded. I mean, we're getting to the point where people are trying to legalize marriage between humans and animals. So.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. Sounds great.
Hey Todd.
Yeah, I read a story about this guy who spent $10,000 on plastic surgery to turn himself into a collie.
Mm-hmm.
He says he now regrets it because it turns out walking like a dog is really tough.
God. Oh my God. What's happening in words on this planet?
Hey Todd, do you like simulation video games?
It depends, Avery.
like I've been playing Power Washer Simulator. Yeah, that's a game. I swear. But check out the link I put in chat for this rig these people made for playing this simulation video game basically.
Oh, this was on my feed and I didn't even look at it. Hold on.
I don't know if it's a simulation game, but it is an awesome way to play a video game. Holy crap! They like went above and beyond.
Let me share.
It's amazing.
Hold on.
Dude, this is rad. It takes 3 people to play. Dude, it's freaking awesome. It's like running a real tank crew.
How much do you want to bet the army's going to buy them out?
That's hardcore, man. They're obviously science kids.
Yeah, but that is badass.
Yeah.
It just makes all the really best driving sim games you've seen with their rigs look like amateur hour.
Right.
Dude even spits the
cannon.
Yeah, it spits the shells out.
That's pretty cool, man.
I love it, dude. That's awesome.
Is this what you want for your for Hanukkah?
Oh, dude.
Look at that. He broke it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'll tell you what, man. That's a good exercise.
Yeah.
That's an expert exercise. You know. Holy crap!
I came across that. I was like, dude, this is so amazing.
Yeah. Rick says can't be cheap.
No.
That's a for real rig, man. It's like yeah, man. I love it, dude. I think it's awesome. Well, guys, happy Friday.
Yeah. Yay.
This has been another excellent Nerd Den. You know, we did it without Andrew. We proved once again that Andrew's dead weight. And
It turns out other people on the show do have things to say. It's just Andrew never shuts the fuck up.
yeah, yeah,
Guys,
yeah. We just need
guys,
to.
he's probably gonna watch this.
This is nothing I wouldn't say to his face and do regularly.
Exact for real.
I'm not being any harsher because he's not here. I say this shit to his face.
Oh God, that's pretty funny. Well, guys, happy Friday, happy Nerd Den.
Yay!
Have a great weekend, and yeah, we're gonna be back. Andrew said he'll be back next week.
Yeah,
so we'll
yeah,
have
he'll
to-
be back.
He'll be back next week. So
I
we'll-
hope
we'll
he.
talk
I
to
do
you
hope. I do hope he's got some new, like, really good, graded comics.
for sure. And I will tell you, I have a story next week. Didn't get to this week. I learned because I've been doing a lot of Mike Mignola stuff this week. Peace out, Rick. Thank you, brother. And thanks again to MK and everybody else for showing up.
Thanks, guys.
Little teaser for next week. I learned why Mike Mignola actually ended up quitting and doing his own book. What was the thing that made him say, "Fuck this, I'm doing Hellboy"? And you're never gonna get. I mean, maybe
I
you'll get
saw him talk about it in a thing, but I don't remember.
I was like, I because this was a video that I had watched twice, and the first time I just didn't stick, and the second time I was like, no fucking way. And so
Was it this long interview with, like, this woman? They were, like, sitting down with a projector showing all this stuff. Was it the kayfabe episode?
Mhm.
Okay, I've watched 2 Mike Mignola things a few
I've
weeks
watched a
ago.
couple recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I will cover it. I'll cover it next week. Just
Okay.
absolutely stunning. It's like I was like, no way. It makes total sense, but it's absolutely like peak 90s. So anyway, love you guys. Have a great weekend, and yeah, man, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Come by the Discord. We know we're there every day, all week long. Rick, it's been good seeing you in there too, buddy. All right, guys. God bless. Take care. Peace out. And yeah, man. Yeah, cliffhanger. You got to leave a cliffhanger, man. Same bad time, same bad channel next week.